are some of the most remote areas in the world? And why do they capture the imagination of world travelers? There are many, many places in the world that are both enjoyable as well as fascinating. But the remote ones have their own special lure to tourists. Today we are taking a trip to faraway places, including the Amazon rainforest, the Arctic, the Sahara Desert, outer Mongolia, and the outback of Australia. We'll begin with the Amazon rainforest in South America. This vast wilderness is home to an incredible array of plants and animals, and is a popular destination for jungle trekking and wildlife watching. It is considered wild because of its vastness and the large variety of species that live there. It's also the world's largest tropical rainforest, covering an area of over 5.5 million square kilometers, 2.1 million square miles, primarily in Brazil, but also extending into Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. But look at this picture, it just goes on and on. Did you know the Amazon is home to an estimated 400 billion, with a B, billion, individual trees belonging to 16,000 species? It is also home to around 2.5 million insect species. Don't like that too much. Tens of thousands of plants and some 2,000 birds and mammals. But I have to say those insects are very important for the balance or the circle of life in the jungle. The Amazon rainforest is known as the lungs of the earth because it generates about 20% of the world's oxygen. Very important. The Amazon rainforest is also home to 400 different indigenous tribes, many of which have little or no contact with the outside world. The following are some of the popular activities in the rainforest: jungle trekking, wildlife watching, canoeing or boat trips down the Amazon River or its tributaries, fishing. The Amazon is one of the most biodiverse places in the world, which makes it very popular with adventure travelers. The dense foliage. Well, we're going to go now to a place that doesn't have dense foliage. As a matter of fact, it has no trees. We're off to the Arctic. Why would anyone want to visit this very cold, remote place on planet Earth? It is located in the northern hemisphere, covering an area of about 14 million square kilometers or 5.4 million square miles, including parts of Canada, USA, Alaska, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. There are a number of reasons the Arctic is chosen by adventurers. It is a vast and remote and very cold wilderness, home to a variety of wildlife. There you will see polar bears, Arctic foxes, walruses, seals, and whales. The indigenous people, such as the Inuit and the Sami and the Nenets, have lived in the Arctic for thousands of years and have developed a deep understanding of the environment and the wildlife that live there. Many of these communities still rely on fishing and hunting for their livelihood, but they are an absolutely incredible source of knowledge about the Arctic and what stories they have to tell. Activities enjoyed in the Arctic include dog sledding, ice fishing, snowmobiling, and my favorite, the incredible, majestic, gorgeous, strikingly beautiful Northern Lights. Even though the Arctic is known for its extreme temperatures, long dark winters, and short summers, adventurers are still drawn to its rugged and dramatic landscape, including fjords, mountains, vast tundras, a place to experience raw beauty, as well as the tradition of the indigenous people there who call the Arctic their home. Before we continue, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. I'd really appreciate it. Allow me to continue on to create interesting videos that I hope you will enjoy. So press that subscribe button. Sure would make me thank you so much for doing that. Okay, from the very cold to the very hot, we are going now to the Sahara Desert in Africa. This vast desert is home to a wide variety of desert-adapted plants and animals. It is considered wild because of its harsh conditions that make it difficult to survive there. What is fascinating about the Sahara? It's the largest hot desert in the world and covers an area of around 9 million square kilometers, 3.4 million square miles, and it's located in North Africa. It is a vast expanse of sand dunes, rocky plateaus, and gravel plains, as well. Whoops, forgot to change the picture. As well as as well as extreme temperatures, but most of all, this isn't good, the lack of water. So visitors to the Sahara either have to know where the oases are located or bring their own H2O. Despite the harsh conditions, the Sahara is home to a wide variety of ancient human settlements. Did you know it is home to 1.5 million people? The Sahara is famous for having these animals: the dromedary camel, the fennec fox, and the addax antelope. A few reasons adventurer types choose to visit the Sahara: the unique and awe-inspiring landscape, and are they ever? The cultural heritage, which is extremely rich. The opportunity to experience life in a traditional desert community, that's fascinating. And learn about what it's like to live in a desert community firsthand. In the Sahara, there are activities such as camel trekking, sandboarding down those gorgeous high sand dunes. Gosh, that must be fun. A 4x4 vehicle tour, and that's a way to see remote areas of the desert you might not get to otherwise. And I also think that another popular activity that gives you a different perspective is hot air ballooning over the desert. I had the good fortune of living in Libya when my father was working at the American Embassy there. Our treks into the Sahara were like exploring an alien world, but it was fascinating. I love the beauty, the strike contrast of the sun coming down over the dunes. But one thing you don't want to be there is when there's a gibbly. That's a sandstorm, because you cannot see your hand in front of your face. Next up, we visit Outer Mongolia. Why would a tourist want to visit this area of the world? What is there to do, and why go? Well, Outer Mongolia is known as an independent country of Mongolia. It offers a wide variety of activities and experiences that are really interesting for tourists, including visiting the country's vast landscape, unique geography such as the Gobi Desert and the Altai Mountains. Additionally, Mongolia is home to a rich cultural heritage, with many opportunities to learn about the nomadic way of life, traditional customs, and the history of the Mongols. Visitors can enjoy experiences like horseback riding, hiking, camping, as well as touring historical sites such as the gigantic Genghis Khan Monument. Mongolia is home to a variety of birds of prey, including eagles, hawks, and falcons. These birds are traditionally used by nomadic herders for hunting small game. The practice of training and hunting these birds is known as falconry and has been part of the Mongolian culture for centuries. Although I have not been to Mongolia, many of my friends have visited this faraway country. In no uncertain terms, their feedback has been gloriously enthusiastic, encouraging me to make a trip there. Definitely on my list. Next on our agenda is another dry spot on planet Earth, the Australian outback, a vast and remote wilderness. It covers much of the interior of Australia. Despite its harsh conditions, the outback is home to a wide variety of plants and animals, as well as a rich cultural heritage. What are some of the reasons why an adventurous spirit would want to visit the Australian outback? Well, first of all, the landscapes are unique and awe-inspiring. Also, it has got a rich history, with the indigenous Australians having lived there for 60,000 years. That's a very long time. But it's also one of the most beautiful and remote wildernesses anywhere in the world. The opportunity to experience what it's like to be out in the middle of nowhere. But, well, you can go hiking, camping, 4x4 vehicle tours, bushwalking, a popular activity as it offers the chance to explore the rugged landscapes on foot. Then there are other destinations like Bungle Bungle Range in Western Australia, the Kimberley region, and Flinders Ranges, to mention a few. And perhaps, best of all, the outback disconnects us from the modern world and gives us a connection with nature in a way that is not possible in more populated areas. So that sums up our remote but fascinating worldwide destinations. An opportunity to experience nature in its rawest forms, see wildlife in its natural habitat, experience local cultures and customs, and most challenging of all is to experience oneself in an environment that is vastly different from the one experienced back home. This ends our worldwide exploration into the most remote locations on planet Earth. Hope you've enjoyed this destination with us. And remember this, the only trip you'll regret is the one you don't take.